Today's program is sponsored by The Anthony Vincent Salon. Say hello to beautiful.
You're listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot and what's not. Get into the loop with us. I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise, and we're your radio gateway to what's trending with beauty, fashion, health, wellness, and sex.
Mostly sex.
Learn and laugh with us anytime, any place. Go right to our website, anthonyvincentsalon.com. Click away and listen today.
You'll be glad you did.
You will be.
And we have a really great show for you today.
Don't we always, though?
Yes.
Who's our guest?
Well, we have a very, very special guest a little bit later on today.
Yes, we do.
Dr. Frank Samato of Samato Chiropractic Clinic.
He's my guy.
Yeah.
He's my doctor.
Yeah, he is? Oh, very cool. Very cool.
You know that. He cracks me all the time. Cracks me up, too.
Well, he's going to tell us all about chiropractic, what chiropractic is, how it can help you, and why it is beneficial. We're also going to talk about something really, really interesting. Do you know that they're making paper out of plastic bottles?
Really?
Yes, we're going to
Now that's innovative.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that a little bit later on. But first, Elise, you need to throw out your antibacterial soap.
Why?
Well, if you're still using antibacterial soap, scrubs, and cleaning products.
Wait a second. Let's just back up for a second. You always tell me on my piercing, use the antibacterial soap.
That's correct.
Okay, so then now you're telling me not to.
Well, I'm going to tell you some of the problems that I did not know that I just learned. Now, I still think if you have a little bit of an infection, an antibacterial soap will help. But it appears as though, and I'm looking at my my own sister and family and my nephew, about how they are constantly coddling him, picking him up, washing his hands, taking that out of his mouth.
Wait a second.
And the kid
Now, here's the thing. Before you even go on any further, I understand. I'm almost sure I think that I know what you're going to say. Your body needs to build up so that it can fight off different things. So if you're constantly using an antibacterial soap or using all of these antibacterial products, you're taking away not only the good stuff, but not only the bad stuff, but the good stuff too. And your body needs to build these things up so it can fight. Are we on the same page?
Oh my God, you're not only beautiful, you're smart too.
Oh, we're on the same page.
Of course we are.
That's so great.
Yeah, if you have too many or everything is antibacterial in your scrubs, your cleaning products, your dishwashing, your hand soap, toss them out. They have an active compound in these things called triclosan.
Triclosan. Okay, and what exactly is that?
Well, the main problem with triclosan is that it creates antibiotic resistance.
Okay, I see that. So
which
basically,
is just what you said.
I basically said.
Yeah,
okay,
this is what you said.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's okay for a child to get a little dirty. I agree. It's okay for all of us to not.
He builds up his immune system. It's okay to eat a little dirt every now and then.
I agree. I do.
I eat crow all the time.
Yeah, so do I, especially from my co-host. But besides that, I think it's really important that you do build up an immunity so that you can fight.
You build up the antibodies in your body.
Because you know what? You never know. And this is the truth, everybody. You never know when you're going to get sick. And it's so important to be healthy enough and to be able to fight off whatever you can. If you start off getting sick, healthy, you're okay.
That's right.
I mean, yeah, I definitely agree with that. But I think that as far as our piercings go, I think that sometimes it's important to clean them with a nice antibacterial soap to keep everything nice and clean. And
that's right. And it's not really the antibacterial soap. It is that product called triclosan.
Triclosan.
Yeah.
I'm going to remember that.
Yeah. And
okay.
In a 2014 study published in the Journal of Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, it linked triclosan to liver toxicity, fibrosis, and cancer. So it's really the, that triclosan that's the problem.
Wow. It's quite an interesting thing.
Yeah. Now, is it just us, or is it ironic that this chemical we use to clean ourselves with in our homes is now linked to harming our body's ability to clean itself?
That's crazy. That's crazy. It kind of makes me a little bit sad. But if you think about it, let's go back to, my grandmother's days.
Okay.
Okay. And they didn't use the harsh chemicals that we use. They didn't deal with all of the crazy pesticides that we deal with.
That's right.
They didn't deal with all of the insanity that we deal with. Now, there was illness, and a lot of people, unfortunately, died because they didn't have the proper medications. I know that my grandfather's father, I know he died because they didn't have the shot, oh God, I can't even think of the name.
Penicillin.
No, not penicillin. What is it? When you cut yourself and you have to get a shot. What is that? I can't believe I can't think of it.
It'll come to us.
That's ridiculous.
Tetanus?
Yes. He died.
I told you it would come to us.
Came to you, thankfully. Yeah, he died because he didn't get a tetanus shot.
Well.
Okay, so, things would happen, but they didn't have antibacterial soap, and they didn't have
No, they didn't.
all that kind of crazy crap that we have, and they didn't have all those colds. They got sick, but they didn't have all those crazy colds that everybody gets. Thankfully, I don't. But
well, they everything was different back then. The foods, the fruits, everything.
The food was homemade and delicious.
That's right.
Yeah, the meatloaf with the gravy.
The meatloaf, guys. We just love meatloaf.
I actually like meatloaf too.
Well, you're a guy. You're like a guy. You're like a guy. Yeah, you're like a guy.
I'm like a guy.
Yeah, with
Really?
hips.
Oh my God. I don't know if this is a compliment.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm like a guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Because, you're one of the dudes. Okay, let me backtrack here.
Okay, Liberace. If I'm like a guy, you're like Liberace.
Well, regular soaps.
Notice how he goes right over
just
that.
as well as these antibacterial soaps. And if you have a little bit of infection, there's something very natural that you can use for it.
What's that?
Organic, extra virgin coconut oil.
Ah, we're back to
Antibiotic
coconut
properties,
oil.
yes.
That's so great. Coconut oil is good for everything. And you're right. It does have antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral.
Yes. And you can always get a little bit of the hydrogen peroxide and spray it on a cut.
Yeah, and watch it sizzle.
And that's right.
And bubble. It'll just take that right out.
And foam up and wash away.
And it doesn't even burn. It really doesn't even burn. So tell me about this. I'm drinking right now water from a plastic bottle. So tell me how you can make paper out of this bottle.
Well, these plastic water bottles are a scourge on the environment.
I love these big words that you use.
It's not a big word. It's only like 7 letters.
Yes, but did you ever say scourge before?
No, it's not one that I usually use.
Yeah. So it's big to you.
All right. So we all know by now that these plastic water bottles wreak havoc on our environment.
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they
In
do.
fact, millions of tons every year are being put into these landfills.
Yeah.
And they do not go away.
No, they don't.
1,000 years
You
from
can't-
now, they'll still be water bottles.
Yeah, they just don't break down.
Mm-hmm. So, along with not making new bottles, what can we do with the old ones?
Well, I suppose we can use them for something, but what I've noticed about the bottles, there's a whole big thing now. They're making the bottles thinner and thinner. So when you hold the bottle, it actually squeaks and moves and
falls apart.
Well, it doesn't actually fall apart, but when you open the bottle, you better be careful because water just comes out
It
because
shoots
it's
right
squeezed.
out at you. Yeah.
So I would imagine that you'd want to do something with them. So I guess that they're melting them down now. And I guess making paper, but like you said, but I don't know how they do that.
They're turning them into paper.
How do you turn plastic into paper?
Well, they have a secret system that they have, and it's a team of young inventors in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've done is they have successfully produced mineral paper out of recycled polyethylene. That's
Okay, so
the PET bottles.
I am curious about one thing. I don't know if you know the answer to this. How do they do this? They melt the bottle?
They don't tell us.
Oh, see, I'm scared. You know why? Because when they deal with plastic, this was one of the biggest things with plastic. When you heat plastic, it goes into our environment, and it's almost deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Almost deadly. So how are they doing this? How are they containing that?
Well, okay, the company is known as Chronology. Alrighty, and they're doing a good job because they recently received funding and support from green initiatives.
Oh,
And-
really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So whatever they're doing it well. It is ecological, and they manufacture this ecological paper, and it is created with recycled plastic bottles, calcium carbonate, and stone.
Stone?
Stone. They do not
Wow.
use water or chemicals or chlorine.
How? Oh my God. So they're doing this with stone and plastic. That is insane.
Yes, and no water. And they call it a mineral paper, and it does meet the quality standards for printing and boxes and stationery.
I love this.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. This is amazing that we, and I say that, vernacularly, we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
And what?
They're brilliant.
Bunch of kids.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, bunch of kids.
I love it.
And what they're saying too is that to manufacture a ton of paper, and that's 2,000 pounds,
Right?
they need just about 500 pounds of these plastic bottles.
Which we have in abundance.
Yes, and they keep a lot of these bottles out of the landfills. And Chronology states that their system saves 56,000 liters of water and 20 trees for every ton of paper that is manufactured.
Oh my God. Do you believe how beautiful that is?
Mm-hmm.
To save water is one thing, but to save a tree? How do you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know how many forests are now endangered.
Well, there's a misconception about cutting trees down for paper. And they're not cutting down forests to make paper from the trees. The trees that they're using are farmed, and for every tree that is cut down on this farm, 2 more are planted, and it's thousands and thousands of acres of planted trees that are just for making paper. So
Well,
when someone
aren't-
tells you that, they're destroying our forests for paper, it just isn't true.
Well, aren't you a plethora? Well, that's good to know, and I'm glad, but regardless, it's still nice that paper can be made out of plastic that we don't need, that's being discarded, that was taking up space, and we're not using water or trees.
You're absolutely correct.
And if it's being funded by green companies as well, that means it's not affecting our environment.
That is correct.
And so that means the health of ourselves and our children are in good shape. So I'm very happy with this news.
And the paper's a lot stronger.
I want some of this mineral paper. We need to get it.
All right, we'll get
go
some.
get it,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll get some.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got brows? Aching for an arch? Frame it, fill it, and flaunt it. Say hello to beautiful.
Want your beauty question answered on the air? Email us now from anthonyvincentsalon.com. Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did.
And now for the fun facts on finance
From a feminine point of view, our very own Dina Cobran.
of DC Alexander Wealth Management.
Mom's money matters. So
It does.
Dina, I know it does. You know how sometimes, I don't know if people say this to you, but I know to me, oh my gosh, why do you always have to buy so much? Stop the spending. Sometimes you can't help it. You want to buy something sweet, and cute for your child or, your girlfriend. How do you come up with a way through Mom's Money Matters to find a way to save a little bit extra for those little fun things without affecting everything else?
So it's okay to make those little spontaneous purchases. There's no problem with that. The way to save, though, is to just become disciplined and look at, as an example, we talked about this the last meeting about saving money that you were paying in gas money.
Oh, right.
Remember
I
that?
remember that. Yeah.
That was an awesome idea.
Yeah.
And that came up through somebody else. And I was like,
Oh, let's give her credit. My cousin Barb. Come
That's
on.
right. Barb's great.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And basically, it's very simple. So So we used to spend, say, $40 at the gas pump, and now you're spending $20.
Right.
It's half as much.
Exactly.
So if you just take that $20 and throw it in your $5 jar,
Found
I
money.
love the $5 jar.
Found money.
found money. Yeah, exactly. That will build up over time, because this way, when gas prices go up, you'll have that extra money to be able to, pay for your gas instead of putting it on your credit card if you did that, or
Right.
you know what I mean? Or again, we talk about saving for vacations, and just doing something a little bit every day and being more aware is what we're trying to get people to do.
One of my clients who I gave her your card, she said to me that her husband's always complaining because all she does is buy baby clothing. They just had a baby and she can't help herself. She walks through the department store and there it is. I understand that, but they really can't afford all of that extra stuff.
Right.
So I was giving her some of your pointers, the $5 challenge, of course, and this is a great one I forgot about.
Right.
But she's going to actually call you and meet with you. But
That's
these were
great.
just some little things that we were talking about.
And I have 3 kids as well, so I know what that temptation is like as well. You always want the cutest, newest little outfit for your child.
Of course.
But you know what? I got into the habit of shopping at consignment shops. And there's a lot of great children's consignment shops as well.
Oh, yes, I know.
And if you shop at consignment shops, you can get that brand new little cute item that nobody ever wore.
Right.
Right?
Babies barely wear anything. Yeah.
Exactly. And, you can save so much money than buying it brand new. Or when Gymboree has their, semi-annual sale and
Oh, I know.
everything's
It's amazing.
right.
Yeah.
So there's just so much you can do to resist that temptation if you just wait and think about it a little bit longer.
And you have to be careful. It's true.
So from a man's point of view, it's not necessarily the discipline of saving. It appears it's the discipline of not spending what you would normally spend, which will make your savings much easier task to perform.
Right. Well, it's not a man or a woman thing. I mean, it's an everybody thing, just getting disciplined, right? And, that's what we want is at the end of the day, we want to have more money to be able to spend at some point. And so the only way you're going to have money to spend at a certain point is to save now. And that's a harsh reality. People don't like to think about really watching their money that closely, but we really have to. There's just no other way around it.
Perfectly said.
Thank you. So with that, I think people should contact Moms Money Matters and get involved with us because we're having an absolute blast, aren't we, Elise?
We absolutely are. I love these meetings. They're educational, they're warm, they're friendly. We all discuss our goals and we examine what's going on in our lives and we come up with ways of really saving money and making a difference in our lives. And it's amazing. And
also,
thanks to you.
Well, thank you. And also making friends, right?
Oh my gosh,
that's been
absolutely.
awesome.
That's really been amazing. I love these meetings.
Yeah.
I do.
And I so appreciate you and everything that you're doing. And it's really helping everything grow. I mean, without Elise helping and being behind this, it wouldn't grow to where it's growing now.
Well, thank you. But it's important. And it's so nice that we have each other to work with and to learn from. And especially you're giving us this amazing knowledge to better our lives. How could I not want that for everybody?
Well, it's a lot of fun. And let's just get our listeners to reach out. We do have the Moms Money Matters on Facebook and we do have a Twitter. And people can find us anywhere they want now. So tell them to do
it's
it.
amazing. Moms Money Matters, because it does.
Absolutely.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Next Financial Group Incorporated, member FINRA/SIPC. DC Alexander Wealth Management is not an affiliate of Next Financial Group Incorporated. 2346 Route 33, Suite 307, Robbinsville, New Jersey 08691. Phone number 609-945-7330.
Need a salon that's about the whole you? Precision haircuts, flawless makeup, impeccable nails, top-rated professional hair products. Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a hairstylist who has his finger on the pulse of all the latest trends? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a dependable salon with over 35 years in the industry? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for New York City and internationally trained stylists that will create the perfect look for you? Anthony Vincent Salon. Shine brightly while walking down the aisle. Anthony Vincent Salon. For a longer, thicker for beautiful hair extensions, Anthony Vincent Salon. Incredible makeup applications for weddings, proms, or any special occasions. Anthony Vincent Salon. Have dry, brittle summer hair? Get a hot shot. Anthony Vincent Salon. Before you put a ring on it, manicure it. Anthony Vincent Salon. Your image is their specialty. For the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Anthony Vincent Salon. For a more beautiful you, call now 609-448-2212 and follow them on Twitter.
Elise, we have a very special guest with us today.
I'm so excited. I know we do.
Yes, and would you like to introduce him?
I would. This is Dr. and I say that, Dr. Frank Samato from Samato Chiropractic, right in East Windsor. He's our chiropractor.
Yes, very, very cool. Very
handsome.
Thank you.
Do you have to be handsome to go to chiropractic school?
No.
No, you have to be good. You have to have good hands. He has good hands.
You have to have good hands.
Why don't we start off by telling us where you're located at, and if you have a website or a number that people can reach you.
Sure. I'm located at the 113 Maple Stream Road, right on the corner of Route 130 and Maple Stream Road.
Terrific.
About a quarter of a mile from your place?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah,
yes, you are.
Yeah, if it wasn't actually on the highway, we could actually walk there.
Yeah. And my website is www.samatochiropracticcenter.com.
Cool. Tell us, what is chiropractic?
Chiropractic is the manual manipulation of the spine to remove nerve interference.
What does that mean?
You know, you have your spine, right? Your backbone. And through the spine goes your spinal cord. And out of your spinal cord comes the nervous system that supplies all the different parts of your body. So the nervous system gets affected by what we do throughout our lifetime. Falls, traumas, accidents.
My car accident?
Yes, your car accident.
Yeah. I have to just say something about that. It made it so that my neck didn't move. My neck just didn't move. And you were able to make my neck move again.
Yeah. You had a whiplash injury.
Horrible one, yeah.
Yeah. It was terrible. And, this is what happens throughout our lifetime. And so the nervous system gets impeded as it exits out of the spine and goes to the different parts of the body. And then, you lose that nervous system health to those parts of your body.
And that's how you're able to fix that.
That is correct.
There's a little sign in your office. The 5 most dangerous words in the English language. I love this. Maybe it will go away.
Yeah, people ignore a lot of symptoms before they get worse. They ignore them. They don't pay attention to their bodies. And then, they deteriorate. The body deteriorates, breaks down. But those symptoms are warning signals that something is occurring.
And that kind of pain can be so uncomfortable, and it can make your life miserable. When you have back pain or neck pain or shoulder pain.
Yeah, that's true. We treat both chronic injuries that happen over a long period of time, and we treat acute injuries that happen like your car accident. And they affect the body, and, things change, wears down. And, then we start, there are people that come to me with herniated discs. I mean, they go through terrible, terrible discomfort. Lifetime of discomfort sometimes.
Some people, and I always try to talk them out of it. They say, oh yeah, I hurt my back. It's been hurting for a couple of months. I guess I got to go have surgery. I tell them, no, don't do that. Why am I telling them not to do that?
Well, surgery is the last resort. It's the end all. If it doesn't go out good, and listen, not everybody responds well to chiropractic. Not everybody responds well to everything. But if you have to have surgery at the end of it, if it doesn't go well, there's no going back. That's the end.
See, that's the thing I don't understand. I don't understand why somebody wouldn't want to try something like natural and for well-being before they would go and have anesthesia and go under the knife.
Yeah, the other, you mentioned the sign in my waiting room. But we have a sign in the exam room that says chiropractic first, drugs second, surgery last.
Exactly.
And I believe that because, you see what's happening right now with drug medication, people on pain medication, and they lead to other problems. they lead to dependency. And this is a problem that's going on right now. There was a program on TV on HBO Sports about kids that take OxyContin, and they go from OxyContin to heroin because they're addicted to the painkillers.
Yes.
And it's common. It's not something that's just unusual. And so, we want to try to relieve the pain and the discomfort without going into pain medications. And then, obviously, if pain medication is necessary, that's okay. But we want to try to reduce those discomforts naturally before we have to go into medication. That's my belief.
And I believe that also. I actually love when I come in that you do this, I don't know, these moist heat
packs, yeah.
Yeah, and the ultrasound?
Yes.
Oh my God. And that kind of loosens you up and gets everything going, and then you can do the stress, the relief with the manipulations that you do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's good about the office. We give moist heat, we give ultrasound, and then the manipulation is at the end.
And it's good. And you leave and you feel like you can walk straighter.
I'm glad.
And you totally straightened my daughter out. Remember, she was crooked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. She grew another inch, which is a good thing for her. What did you bring with us that Anthony thought was sushi? Always food on this man's mind.
What I brought was just 2 examples of things of conditions that can happen throughout your lifetime. One is a pattern of degeneration as the spine degenerates. The disc degenerates or the disc wears down over time. I know they can't see this on the radio, but the first one to your left-hand side is the normal. This is how the spine should look. This is how
So this is really cool, everybody. This is like a nice little pieces of your bone, your spine, and then inside there, it looks like to me like this would be like tissue.
This is a cushion.
A cushion.
This is a cushion. Yeah. It's
so
a disc.
what is that? Oh, so that's your disc.
Yeah.
So that's the first one. It's nice and full and flush.
Exactly.
And the bones aren't rubbing together.
That is correct. So there's not a lot of degeneration or there's not a lot of wearing down of the joint. That is healthy.
Okay.
That's good. And then what happens, Elise, is that the nervous system does not get impeded as it comes out of that opening. It doesn't get impeded.
Yeah.
You can see that how
so
big
everything is flush and nice and fresh looking.
That's exactly right. And you can see these are called vertebral bodies. These are the bodies of the vertebra, and you could see that the bodies of the vertebra should be straight across and straight down, 90-degree angles.
Well, that's how it is on that good, healthy one.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then moving to our right, you could see that the disc is starting to wear down into there. It's smaller, but still the bone is not deteriorated.
Yeah, it doesn't look terrible.
That's correct. You can get some irritation to nerve. This one here, this is moderate degeneration. There's
starting to look a little crooked.
It's starting to look a little, it's broken down. And you can start to see that the bone, the body of the bone has lost some of its calcium. You can see that it's no longer a square. It's almost like it's starting to become rectangle because the pressure of the body as the calcium loses, the bone actually breaks down. It actually decreases its height. And then this is where the disc is really wearing down in through here. And you could see that these are calcium deposits that deposit off of the front of the bone. They're called bone spurs. Now, it is true. Let me say this.
They look like jagged edges.
They are jagged edges.
And you wanted to eat that, Anthony.
Yeah. and then here, he's always thinking about food, right, Anthony?
That's right.
Food or something else.
Food, always food.
Food.
Oh, just food. Okay. So here the nerve is really being irritated, and you can see how this could impede the nervous supply as it comes out of there. It could cut off the nervous supply. This condition is called, a lot of people will see this on their MRIs, this is called stenosis, or a closing down of the opening where the nerve root comes out of.
Okay.
This would be foraminal stenosis. Foramina means hole. So this opening right here is a foraminal stenosis. As it comes out, the nerve travels to wherever this nerve goes to, can start to get pain. You can get, if this vertebra was in your neck, you can get pain down your arm. If this vertebra was in your lower back, you can get numbness and tingling down your leg.
And pain down. So, that's like sciatica.
It's exactly what, if it was, the sciatica is the sciatic nerve that travels down your leg. And if the nerve is being impeded as it travels down your leg, that's called sciatica.
Okay, so then how do you fix that?
Okay, what we do, that's a good question. What we do, obviously, you see the degeneration going
Yes.
on into here? Okay, so the spine should have mobility.
Right.
Okay, now it's not a lot of mobility like the fingers of your hand, which has great mobility. Okay, but it should have some motion into there. When that breaks down, you can see. Remember what you said before? It looks, the bones are not up against each other, but here in this one, the bone is getting closer to the other vertebra
Yeah.
below it. So then, when that happens, is the spine stiffens up. It doesn't have the motion. It doesn't have the mobility anymore. Okay, so what we do is we create mobility into there to slow that degeneration down. That's what we do. And then we want to take the pressure off of the nerve by doing manipulation. We do, obviously, we treat with therapies like moist heat, ultrasound, muscle stimulation to reduce the inflammation to the nerve, but then actually to help fix the problem, we want to create mobility into the joints. We want to create motion. We want to take that pressure off of there because you're going to get restrictiveness. Remember,
Yeah.
just like your neck didn't move. It was stiff. It was locked up. It wasn't moving freely. So what we did is we created mobility over time, slowly, so that the motion gets better.
Right.
Because if that stiffness stays there, the degeneration gets worse.
So then it would look like that fourth one.
This is bad.
Yeah. Now, when it gets bad like this, and then these bones get close together, how do you feel about inversion therapy? Because I would think gravity is squeezing you together.
Yeah.
Is there any truth to the inversion
you know
therapy?
What is inversion therapy?
Inversion therapy is like when, they go on inversion tables, or those tables that turn upside down.
Okay.
So your head is going to be lower than your feet.
Okay.
So like Anthony says, to take the pressure off of the spine, you see? So I am not against inversion therapies at all. They do say that going completely upside down is not great. But so you want to have a little bit of an angle there where your feet are above your head to take the pressure off of the disc. Okay. The problem, what happens when you do that is you're going to stand back up again, right?
Well, you hope so.
Exactly. So let's say you're on the inversion table for 10 minutes. You're going to stand back up, and then the pressure, the gravity is going to come back onto the disc again. So you're going to lose that. You're not really creating mobility into there. It's like a temporary thing.
So that would be too temporary then.
Yeah, it's too temporary. So, but you know what? People get relief through that. I'm not against inversion tables at all. As long as they don't, they used to sell those inversion boots. You ever see those?
Yeah.
Where people go completely upside down.
I have a pair of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little dramatic.
I walked into his house and he was hanging upside down, and I thought,
You just thought it was a bat.
That's a daily occurrence for him.
he's like a vampire, he's like a vampire anyway, so I
I'm
figured.
not sure what he uses those inversion.
They were to cut hair.
know what?
Is that what
Back
that
in the
was?
80s, yes. when I
Oh, they
was a
hang
little boy.
upside down, the hair drops down, and then they cut the hair.
That's exactly
Okay,
what that was for.
This segment is not solely based on Anthony, so let's move forward.
It's not?
It's not.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
All right, back to Dr.
And then-
Samato,
and then-
Samato Chiropractic Clinic.
This
Yeah.
last one right here is complete degeneration going on. You can see how there's like very little disc there. You can see how small that disc is.
And there's nothing inside it. So let me ask you, what do you do? How do you take somebody from that backward? How do you go backward?
Yeah, that's a real problem. That's why we say maybe maybe the symptoms will go away. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
We
I was
wanna-
about to say that too.
We
Yeah.
want people to get into spinal health before that situation happens. Yeah.
So when that happens, is that it? I mean, there's nothing you can do for that.
There's
Any injections, anything like that?
Well, injections are okay. It's injections will help relieve the discomfort, but injections tend to be a little temporary too, because once the medication wears off, once the steroid reels off, then they're back to where they were. I see a lot of people like this, and their pain is really intense.
You can basically relieve their pain, but you can't actually bring back what's already gone.
You know what? It may be so far gone, but I do treat people like this because, again, their only options are me
Or surgery.
Steroid injections. And in this case, you know what, Elise, surgery is not even going to work because it's just a lot of surgeons. You could see that they're not even going to touch this situation when it reaches that level.
How does a person physically get to that point without doing something about it, knowing the pain that they're in?
They just ignore it.
How do you ignore that type of pain? Because that's got to be painful.
Yeah, it's very painful. And, sorry to say, I see a lot of people in that kind of pain.
That's really sad.
And yeah, it is sad. It is sad because it encompasses their life. I just saw a gentleman this weekend that I knew before, and I haven't seen him in about 3 or 4 years. And, he's in a wheelchair now. And now that doesn't happen to everybody. I don't want to scare anybody, but the degeneration, the wearing down. I mean, now the nervous system is completely lost. It's so impeded into his legs and his arms that he's starting to become almost like paralyzed.
Oh, I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but that's not everybody, obviously, but those situations can happen as the body wears down, as it breaks down, as it degenerates. But I see people in intense pain with these conditions called stenosis, or closing down of the opening where the nerve root comes out of. They could also get stenosis in this opening here, and that would involve the spinal cord. That would involve the spinal cord. And, that would involve the spinal cord, and the opening will close down on there, and they can put pressure on that spinal cord.
That is so
That's
sad.
another stenosis, but that's the central canal stenosis. The central canal being where the spinal cord drops down through there.
It makes me sad thinking people live like that in that kind of pain.
There's a lot of people. And you know what happens in the office, Elise? A lot of people come in, and they say to me, listen, my mom, my dad, he's in a lot of pain right now. Is there anything you can do? They're 70-something years old. He's been dealing with pain all his life. And I say, I don't tell them, yes, I'm going to save them. I'm going to help them. I say, let's bring them in. Let's examine them. Let's see if there's anything we can do to get them out of some of this pain, because they're in lifelong pain.
Does fusion help ever?
What is fusion?
Fusion is, all right, let's say the person has a herniated disc. They'll remove the disc and they'll fuse the area between the two vertebrae.
So they make them tight together?
They'll make them almost like one unit. They don't move separately anymore. They fuse these two vertebrae here together. And then they
now,
don't...
how could that make things better for you?
Well, you know what? Again, let's say the person has a severe herniated disc. The disc is completely herniated, and the disc is herniated, and it's putting pressure on the spinal cord.
Now, when you say herniated, I'm saying this for our listeners. What does that actually mean, herniated?
Okay. All right. The disc, like you see here, these discs have two parts to them. One part is centrally located, and that's called the nucleus because it's in the center, and it's called the nucleus pulposus. So it's it's got pulpy. It's more jelly-like. Mm-hmm. The other part is called the annulus fibrosus. The annulus because it circles, meaning annular, and it's striated. So its job, its purpose is to hold that jelly-like material in place. But that jelly is fluid. Okay, it's more pulpy.
Oh, so once that comes out,
yeah, it can move left, it can move right, it can move towards the back, and once then there's another part. This is called a bulging disc. The disc is still encapsulated, but it's bulging, and you can see how it's bulging.
Yeah, so that would be painful too.
Yeah, that could be painful too, sure, because that can put pressure on the spinal cord too. But then once it breaks through the annulus fibrosus, it now is in the opening here, and it can put pressure directly on the spinal cord, or it could put pressure on a nerve root. And then because that pain is so severe, okay, because that pain is so severe that people will do, they'll do anything to get rid of that pain. So they might cut away that portion, and then what they do is they create stability by fusing the area.
Oh.
But they're more and more as time goes on, they're learning that maybe that's not always necessary. Maybe that's not always the right case.
But once it's fused, that means it's done.
It's done. It's done. They fuse them with bone or they fuse them with metal. A lot of times I'll see people coming in the office and they have these rods up and down their back because they're fused in those areas. And it looks just like a screw that goes into the body of your vertebra. They'll take the screw and they'll push it right, or they'll put it right through into the body of the vertebra.
I imagine that just must be painful.
I'm sure that it takes a lot of rehab after that. It takes a lot of time to get back to hopefully normal. But again, later on in their lifetime, we'll start to see a breakdown in the area above that, a breakdown in the area below that, because just think about that.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. Like, if you're fused in one spot, then you're putting everything else is going on the other areas that are still mobile.
Exactly.
And so that's really taking, its toll on those areas.
Right, because you're asking the body to move better above that and below it. That's exactly right.
Wow.
And then you'll start to get some degeneration above that and below that. And it complicates things. So
but that's where you come in.
Well, that's why I say surgery is I've treated a lot of people with fusion.
I've have several clients who have had vertebrae fused, and they move like Frankenstein.
They do move, yeah.
Yeah, they lack of mobility. They can't turn their head; they're turning their whole body.
Mm-hmm.
They look like Frankenstein.
Yeah. I hate to see that.
Sad.
I'll look at X-rays, and we'll see these X-rays, and we'll see these people with metal up and down their spine, and we're thinking, and these screws into the body of the vertebrae, and we go, that can't be good, or that can't feel that good.
And that's why we need you.
Well, thank you. I try to do the best I can. We try to help people that are in chronic pain. We try to help people that we don't want them to get into situations like this. Because, obviously, I've been a chiropractor for 30 years. My object is to try to help people. That's why I do it
well.
That's why I do it. I do it to help people. I don't like to see people in chronic pain like that. I wouldn't want to be like that for me. I don't want to see them like that.
And there you have it. Dr. Frank Simato, Simato Chiropractic. Can you give your address again?
Sure. It's 113 Maple Stream Road in East Windsor, New Jersey. It's right on the corner of Route 130 and Maple Stream Road.
And your website?
www.simatochiropracticcenter.com.
Fabulous.
You were doing the talk. I couldn't get a word in edgewise, so I didn't want to.
Is this the Elise show? Or is this the Anthony and Elise show? Where would you be without her?
I think I don't.
She does a great job,
doesn't she?
No, she does. She absolutely does.
He does too.
Yeah, he does.
I'm a good listener. I'm a good listener.
Stu, tell Dr. Simato what Anthony does. You can only imagine. Do you really think he lets me have all the talking?
You know what it is? The spine is not Anthony's subject.
Now we talk about boobs. Boobs are my subject. Do you know that? I'm going to tell you all about the boobs here.
Oh, really?
That is my subject. Yes. There are almost 300,000 boob jobs in this country today. And the average
He
size...
likes ass, too.
I do. The average boob is a 34E.
Is that right?
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is.
not.
Yes, it is.
That's
No,
the
it's
average?
not. The average is not an
of the
E.
American woman is a
That's
34E.
impossible.
I have it written here as soon as
That's just dumb.
E, not D.
Not D.
That's just
You would
dumb.
have thought it would be.
I would have
a
thought
D.
it would be a C as
Nope.
average.
That's what I would have thought it would have been.
It should not be an E.
34E.
That's fat.
Wow.
Average
Let me
boob.
see. That's fat.
A boob is fat.
No, but that would look fat. I'm sorry. E? That's just dumb. They don't even make good bras like that. Are you kidding me?
You know what's funny about that? Well, it's not funny, but a lot of people are getting breast reductions too.
Yep.
It's bad for the back.
It's bad for the back.
I hate that surgery.
Yeah, you and Howard Stern.
Yes.
No, but that's bad for the back.
It is bad for the back.
You know what? Why don't you wear some E's for a while and see how you feel?
Yeah, right on top
Okay.
of my head.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the subject. This subject.
Now we're talking about what I like to talk about.
This subject he likes.
But by the way, most men do not like fake boobs.
Is that right?
That is true. They do not.
Yeah,
Most men.
Why is that?
I guess
They don't like the texture. They don't like.
I think it's.
Well, they're not soft.
They're jealous.
they're jealous.
Yeah,
Who's jealous?
the guys.
They
Where
like
again?
they like natural breath.
Yes.
Yeah, but why would they be jealous?
Well, I can. A friend of mine.
A friend of yours?
Was with this girl, and she was not a 34E, and and he said to her, he says, I like bigger breasts. So you know what she said to him?
What?
I like bigger testicles.
No.
Good answer.
Great answer.
Great answer.
Great.
I
Answer.
knew we were getting to this subject. This is Anthony's favorite subject.
Yes, it is.
I don't know. Can we keep going? We've been talking to Dr. Frank Samato from Samato Chiropractic Clinic, East Windsor, New Jersey. Doctor, if you'd like to give your website.
And we
again.
love him. We love him.
The website is SamatoChiropracticCenter.com.
Fabulous. Look him up today. Call him today. You'll be glad you did.
Yes, you will be.
Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Elise.
Great to have you on the show.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got chemistry? Is your salon consistent, happy, edgy, magical, impeccable, satisfying, trendy? Are you ready for anything? Say hello to beautiful.
Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did.
If you're joining us just now, your favorite salon is now your favorite radio show.
We make you healthier, wealthier, and sexier every time you listen.
Tune in to us. I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise, and we are Trend Radio.
Now, if you've been listening to our show the last couple of weeks, you know by now that diet soda is not the healthy alternative to normal soda.
You know, if you've been listening at all, you'd know that Anthony says diet soda is going to make you fat.
That's right. And it's also going to give you high blood pressure,
Oh, it's going to do a lot of things.
cancer, and behavioral disorders.
Behavioral disorders? Well, that would explain a lot. I know a lot of people who drink a lot of diet soda, and that explains a lot.
Yeah, but did you know that diet soda also affects your brain?
I could imagine that it would, considering it does all those other horrible things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Research has shown that these artificial sweeteners, which are used in diet soda, actually change the functioning of our brains.
Really?
It's the part of our brain that's critical to controlling and monitoring eating behavior.
That's why you're always so hungry when you're drinking a diet soda.
That's right.
So that little fast food big burger that people love to get with their Diet Coke, or I shouldn't say that, but with their diet soda, you have no problem eating that big hamburger.
You have the diet soda.
Yeah. And I have to just tell you, you're trying not to eat sugar, but that hamburger's converting to sugar. All the bread on it is converting to sugar anyway. You may as well just have a regular soda.
Say it plain.
Say it plain.
That's right. Turn the lights on.
I love that.
Evolutionary survival mechanisms in the brain encourage us to, to seek out these high-calorie foods, sugar and fat, so that we won't starve.
I don't think we're going to starve.
Well, that's why, and and I am guilty of this because honestly, I have a sweet tooth.
I know you do.
For sugar.
I know you do.
Nothing artificial.
I know you do.
Yeah, but, and that's why the first bite of that piece of cake or that first cookie is always the best bite.
It always is. And you know what? You take another one because you think it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
But it never is.
No.
It never is.
Because when we take the first bite of these really sweet items, the body releases dopamine. And we feel these pleasurable sensations, and we want to continue eating.
Right, but it's never.
So happy.
It's never. Yeah, the second bite is never as good as the first.
That's right, and it's leptin.
Yes, we've had this leptin conversation before.
That's right.
We talk about leptin a lot. You and I.
That's right. That's the hormone that regulates the appetite and notifies the brain when you're full. Okay, so that each bite after the first bite doesn't taste quite as good.
So the next time you unscrew that Oreo and you have that first little bite, just throw everything out because it's not going to be the same when you get to the second bite.
That's right. Just Just eat one.
Just all you need is one.
All you need is one. And, you'd think that that should prevent us from overeating.
If you think about it, I mean, it does me. I usually just have one.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
But
unfortunately, you
very disciplined.
You finish the thing that I take the one
you
bite of.
You start it, I finish it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, typically I dropped a girlfriend.
You dropped her?
I dropped her.
Where'd you drop her?
I dropped her back at her house. Never
went back?
Never went back, no. Because, we would, all of my girlfriends in the past, we'd go out to dinner, to lunch, and they would, I guess they were always, watching their figures. And, they were health-minded.
Well, I would think so, because you are so really health-minded and so good-looking and so careful about the way you look that anybody that you surround yourself typically is the same way that you let, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but that's the truth. You typically surround yourself with beautiful people. Typically, I say, not all the time, but typically.
Okay. Well, I forgot where I was going with that.
You dropped a girlfriend.
Ah, yes.
Don't worry, I didn't forget.
Whenever we went out to dinner, there were never any leftovers. She ate everything. And I typically, would date a gal, they
and
kind of
she'd
eat
give you
half.
the rest?
That's right. Either give it to me or take it home and I would have it for breakfast the next morning.
So you dropped someone because she was an eater?
She ate too much, yeah.
Did it show on her body?
Not yet.
I'm going to just say something, okay? You're an ass.
Come on,
it.
Hey, don't hold it back. Say what you really think.
I did. That's it. I'm done.
Don't sugarcoat it for me. Don't sugarcoat. Tell me what you think.
Did I stutter? Oh my God. I dropped a girlfriend because she overate.
Yeah, I also dropped a girl because her feet were too big. It's true.
Can't stand
it. Is true.
You are just killing me.
The bitch walked on water,
Oh my God. Okay, see, I do understand what you're saying here. I actually once went out with a guy years ago, and I never went out with him again. You know why?
Why?
I didn't like his shoes.
Okay.
I just didn't like his shoes. They were wrong. They were all wrong for the outfit. I didn't understand who would do that.
He had no style. How could you stay with a guy like that?
I couldn't. And then I can't. I can't even tell you the rest of it.
Yeah, I don't mind a girl with a big butt.
I know.
I
know you like big butts.
Yeah,
I know.
And I cannot
Need
lie.
I sing? Need I sing? No.
Well, anyway, when we're eating anything that's artificially sweetened, like diet soda, what happens is we disturb that system in our body that regulates our appetite, which is the leptin. Now, what happens, our brain thinks it's going to get energy from the sweetness or the calories, that it can use. So your brain expects calories, but they never come.
How sad.
Get your mind out of the gutter, girl.
Oh, I can't help myself. You just put me right there. You set me up for that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, what's happening is your brain is still craving those calories that it thought it was going to get earlier when you drank that diet soda.
Hence, you reach for the Oreo.
That's right. You eat more and you get fat.
Not a good thing.
Need a salon that's about the whole you? Precision haircuts, flawless makeup, impeccable nails, top-rated professional hair products. Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a hairstylist who has his finger on the pulse of all the latest trends? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a dependable salon with over 35 years in the industry? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for New York City and internationally trained stylists that will create the perfect look for you? Anthony Vincent Salon. Shine brightly while walking down the aisle. Anthony Vincent Salon. For longer, thicker, beautiful hair extensions, Anthony Vincent Salon. Incredible makeup applications for weddings, proms, or any special occasions. Anthony Vincent Salon. Have dry, brittle summer hair? Get a hot shot. Anthony Vincent Salon. Before you put a ring on it, manicure it. Anthony Vincent Salon. Your image is their specialty. For the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Anthony Vincent Salon. For a more beautiful you, call now 609-448-2212 and follow them on Twitter.
Sperm.
Oh, yum.
What?
Remember? I don't know. We've been talking about sperm a lot lately.
Yes, we have.
Actually, one of our last shows, we were talking about
the cookbook.
sperm as the new superfood. So, it just seemed fitting when you said sperm. I said, oh, yum.
Yes,
it kind of worked.
I'm talking about a sperm bank.
Do you want to be a daddy?
No.
Then what do you need a sperm bank for?
Well, urologists are spending a lot of time talking about families and the future of their patients. Something called vasa differenta.
Vasa differenta.
Mm-hmm.
What a nice word that is.
Isn't it? It's vasectomy.
Oh, is that what it means?
Yes. And there's a bunch of guys that are getting divorced, and then they're remarrying, and they want to have their vasectomies reversed.
Is that successful, though, to have the reversal?
Oh, yeah. Most vasectomies are usually very successful in the reversal process.
Really?
Yeah, it's tying the tubes that you can't reverse, I believe.
Yeah, well, no, you can untie. You can do
untie
that.
tubes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's very successful, but I've heard of women doing that. Isn't there a band called Slipknot?
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so reversal, vasectomy reversals. Okay.
Yes, and what's happening is, if you do have a vasectomy, it is 90% that you can reverse it. But if you want to protect your fatherhood options, what you want to do is you want to seek out a facility which offers sperm banking, and it's a couple of $100 to submit a sample, and you just pay a yearly storage fee.
Oh, so you have storage for sperm?
Yes, kind of like a one of those boxes at the bank.
A vault. We'll call it the sperm vault.
The sperm vault. You've been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot and what's not every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Learn and laugh with us anytime, any place. Go right to our website, AnthonyVincentSalon.com. Click away and listen today.
And if you have a topic of interest that you want us to talk about, or you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us now at trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
And remember, your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card.
And how you make people feel becomes your trademark.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.